What if I told you there's a quick way of leveling in Dune Awakening without going through the frustrations of unlocking all the starter items or finding yourself on the opposite side of the map? Curious? Well, stick around because I'm going to take you from character creator to all the way to building your first base in Ailious Gap, unlocking all the unique items. All right, so let's jump in. This is probably the most important part of the guide that you do not want to miss. As you see on the left, you have recommended. On the right, you have advanced. What this does, this unlocks or locks your research menu. You want to unlock your research menu so you don't get stuck doing this boring storyline where you have to unlock each component individually. This is the moment you click advanced and you'll unlock all your basic tools. So click advanced and let's move on. When selecting a character, you've got 5 options to pick from. You've got Ben Gesserit, Swordmaster, Mentat, Plantologist, and Trooper. Early on within the game, about 30 to 60 minutes, you're going to pick up Plantologist and Trooper, so I wouldn't bother picking these up. My recommendation would be pick up Ben Gesserit because he's got Bindu Sprint, help you traverse across the land much quicker, and then you've got Swordmaster, so with the need charge for any pesky NPCs. Purely personal preference here, but either Ben Gesserit or Swordmaster is what I'd go for this section. When you spawn into the game for the first time, you're going to spawn into Hager Basin South. Open up the map and try to orientate yourself of where you are. Ideally, we want you to get yourself down into this area down here because this is the area where you're going to do your first trial and you can pick up some outposts, you can pick up some caves, some valuable resources that you're going to need. Once you've cleared that area, you want to go directly north to testing station number 2. Once up here, you're going to build your first base. Now, the first base is going to be a 2x2, nothing fancy because you are going to delete it later. So this is mainly to put boxes down, get a fabricator, so you can build the components that you need so you can complete the rest of the quest. Now that you have your base down, the first thing you're going to do after this is go to testing station number 2. You need to pick up a whole lot of items in here, including the item that you're going to be giving to the Plantologist to unlock that quest. Once you've finished taking out the testing station, head over to the Plantologist. That is up the mountain, up the top. You'll speak to the Plantologist and he'll ask you to get an item from the testing station. Thankfully, you've already done the testing station. You have the item, interact back with the Plantologist and the Plantologist will be unlocked. By now, you should have enough materials to craft your first bike. So head back to your base, which is roughly about there, and knock out your first bike. Once that's completed, you now have the option to craft a survey probe. Survey probes are beneficial because it will unlock the whole map for you. So I recommend popping one of them up, and then we can move on to our next section. From here, you can move to your next point, which is the cave. And from the cave, onto the Trooper and Griffin's Reach. We're going to hit each main point just so we can pick up more materials along the way because we are going to craft some bits and pieces once we get to our last base. But the Trooper and Griffin's Reach is an important spot to stop. We're going to pick up a whole lot of contracts and we're going to speak to every NPC in the area just in case there's something we need to interact with. Once we've completed that area, we are going to rotate back around to the next cave and onto the outpost. Outposts are very important so we can pick up the intel so we can research and then on to our shipwreck. We want to hit the shipwreck because that's going to give us a lot of materials that we need to craft a whole lot of armor and weapons. From here, next important part is completing the Trooper quest. So the Trooper quest requires us to kill a NPC in this location, and I believe this location. What we're going to do is rotate around, hit 1, hit 2, and hit 3. But before we do that, we do want to hit these spots along the way as we come down and pick up those extra materials. Once we complete the quest and we complete this side of the map, all we need to do now is rotate right back around. And at this top point in time, the shipwreck has probably respawned most of its boxes. So you can hit this a second time and then move over and hit these other areas a second time if you want these mats. As you're at the base, it's a good opportunity to drop most of your materials at your base before you head over to see the Trooper and pick up your Trooper class. And that's it. You've cleared Hager Basin South. You've done most of the components that you need to do for the early game. And now we're going to move into eastern of Ailious Gap. From the north side of the shipwreck in Hager Basin South, we're going to go north straight to this little island. And we're going to clear this area. Main points are the trial, number 2, the 2 outposts, and the cave. This shouldn't take too much time. We're not going to stop here for long. From here, we're going to move straight up to this area where the anvil is right there. We are going to miss the shipwreck and we are going to miss the testing station on the far right. Not required at this point and it's just going to slow us down. Once you've cleared the caves, the outposts, and spoken to everyone at the anvil, picked up the contracts in that location, we are going to prepare to go north. However, there is a component that you can pick up in a cave, is the booster. So this is a booster you can pick up for one of your bikes. It is a schematic and potentially could drop in one of these caves. So make sure you clear these out thoroughly. Don't leave any boxes unturned. From here, we're going to head all the way north up to this section here. And this is where the game's really going to start. This is where you're going to set up your base, build everything you need, your fabricator, or your boxes, set up for water. Everything you're going to do is right in this location. It's also going to set you up for the next part. Because as far as we know, this is as far as we went with the beta, so this is as far we're going to go within the trial. From this location, we've got two options. We can continue building and farming this area, or we can move faster and try to get into the next area and get steel. As we don't know this just yet, it is a gamble, but it's up to you, and I will give you both options. First option is farm the area to find unique schematics and intel. Starting from your base location, we do want to hit the testing stations, the outposts, head down and do the third trial, do the caves and these outposts. We're going to do this one once. So we hit this outpost because we are picking up the intel, heading over to the testing station. And if you really want to, you don't have to. But if you're feeling adventurous, you can hit these, but absolutely not required. From here, we are rotating back up, hitting these points over the shipwreck and back over to your base. So this ends up being a loop that you can do, pick up materials and farming the schematics, because all the unique tier 2 schematics are in this area. So once you've done that first loop at your base, you've dropped off, you hit these points again, this area, but we are going to change it up a little and only pick these ones as the schematics do not drop in the other areas. So you're essentially doing a loop, dropping off, doing it again. Do that as many times as you like, but you'll pick up schematics, you'll pick up a whole lot of dust that's important, and you'll pick up a lot of gear that is going to help you propel further into the game. Now, the second option to see if you can get to the next area, get steel, and progress even further is go from your base, head straight down to the third trial, hit the third trial, come across, back up, and hit the fourth trial. Once you complete the fourth trial, you're now in a position to move into the next area. You can leave all this area alone and potentially head out to wherever the map takes you and explore in those new areas. And that's it. Everything we've learned from the beta to help us propel and get through Act 1 as quick as possible. Hopefully you found this beneficial. I have got a link below to a written version of the guide with a lot more information in regards to drops and where to go in what period of time. If you like this guide, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.